All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Today, I have a goal. I want to do one very good speedrun of Artificer story percent. That's it. That's all I want to do. The stream might end in like 30 minutes. It might end in 3 hours. That is the cutoff point, I think. Like past 3 hours, I can't really continue streaming. So the stream might end there. If I get a really good time at any point, that's where it'll end. Now, world record, it's kind of strange because if you look at the speedrun.com leaderboards for Rain World Downpour, you'll find that the current world record is like 26 minutes, a bit lower than that. However, there's a delay in when a speedrun is done and when it is verified. And only runs that are verified will show on the leaderboards. So someone may have already gotten a really good time that I'm not aware of because it hasn't been verified yet. That's a possibility. However, there's such a big gap between the time that I think I'm able to get and the time that is on the leaderboards right now. I think it's possible that if I just go for the risky strategies, I can get a time that will be world record and will stay like that for a while, at least. So let's actually just get started right away. Make sure that everything is working properly. Let's just get started. I've got splits again, like whatever. I guess I don't really need them. Oh, I got it. So Artificer speedrunning is very interesting. Obviously movement is a big part of it, but you don't need to move fast to get a good time. What helps a lot is not dying. And early on in the run and later in the run, there's areas where it's very easy to die. And usually you take these kind of like safe strategies where you stay in a shelter at some point. Whoops. Time loss already. Might as well restart. There's areas where we tend to just concentrating a bit. There's areas where most people probably are going to take the strategy of staying in a shelter. Oh, I don't want the vulture to be over there. I am going to be wearing a vulture mask for this run. I don't want to spend too much time in this very starting area. Can I steal the was that the taming sound for a red lizard? Sorry, man, but I can't allow that. First of all, let's restart. Red centipede, red lizard. Let's just try to get a clean vulture mask grab. There is ways to grab the. Yeah, I've actually never tried to tame a red lizard, at least since the release of Downpour and the new sound effects. So like grabbing the vulture mask, there's a way to do it quite quickly just by stunning the vulture, grabbing its head, and then mauling it. You'll grab the mask. But that's like really difficult. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throw an explosive spear. It's super easy to craft an explosive spear in that area. Yeah, okay. Well, that's exactly the strategy I just explained. I'd rather not try to learn a new strategy that I'm not completely familiar with. That might lose a bunch of runs at the very start. So I might as well just use the strategy that I'm already familiar with. It's been 6 minutes. How can the stream isn't over yet? We haven't even gotten to the good runs yet. I have to get past. I have to get a vulture mask, and I have to get past garbage waste. So This would be ideal if I could create this really quickly. Hello? Hello? They're not dead. Okay, now they're dead. They're like one spear away from dying. This is still not very clean. Excuse me. Okay, just because the vulture showed up so quickly, I'm going to continue on. Unless this red lizard immediately kills me. Oh, red centipede. Oh, of course there's a vulture mask just sitting on the floor right there that I could have taken. If only I had known. Could have eaten the vulture. That's true. For food. We do need to get food at some point. Even though I'm like playing risky and skipping a bunch of shelters, there is one shelter that is required. Should have predicted the future. Yep. How long am I planning on going for? The cutoff point is about 3 hours. Which means that at 3 hours, I'm not going to be in the middle of a run. So it's like if I'm already in the middle of a run, I'll keep going up until that point, but like the run takes about 20 minutes, so 20 minutes before the 3 hour mark is the last point that I'll start a run, basically. But I've gotten like some good runs before where I made it to the Scav King in about 23 minutes, and that's kind of the goal. Because if you play safe, which I recommend if you want to speedrun this category, just play safe. You don't need to go for these risky strategies. There's a few shelters that you would take. And like getting food and just getting to the shelters, it loses time obviously. So excuse me. Just the time save of not staying in any shelters does help out when getting a good run. Oh, there's the mask. Just get out. That was a great time for that other scavenger to show up to lure the king vulture away. So this was... Here they are. Okay, the same exact scenario happened where I went into a pipe that a red lizard just entered, and the last time that happened, the red lizard immediately came back out and killed me. So luckily that didn't happen again. How come the toll is deserted? So what we do is right after picking up the ID drone that follows you around, we exit out of the game and open it back up. And this kind of like resets the cycle. Gosh, silent lizard. If like right after grabbing the ID drone, if you immediately go to the toll, there will be scavengers there because it kind of takes place a little bit into the cycle. It gives the scavengers enough time to actually group up. But if you reset the cycle, you save the progress of picking up the drone, but it's at the start of the cycle, so the scavengers don't have time to actually get to the toll. Without that strategy, I probably would not run this category. Because the alternative is quite annoying. It's like running through the scavenger toll or going through the exterior routes. Scavs can be grabbed by the body and their head. Yeah, and you want to grab their body because you don't have as good of a grip on their head, so it's easier to drop them. In-game time or real time? This is in-game time with a few kind of weird exceptions. So the timer at the top of the screen is what we're using for timing's sake. Hello? Okay. Making a bunch of mistakes. However, there's a few scenarios where the timer gets kind of messed up, like when you're karma caching. The timer gets delayed by 30 seconds for every karma cache that you do. I don't like these guys. I don't like that vulture. So in cases like that, we might have to look into the run a bit more closely. Why did I... This guy doesn't have enough karma, but that would have been an amazing strategy. Okay, I'm just dead. So let's say in the case of a run where there's multiple options of what you can do. Say that you can... you have the option to eat food and stay in shelters to get your karma level up, or you can karma cache. Now, since karma caching just like removes 30 seconds from the timer, it's like always the faster option if you're just looking at the timer at the top of the screen. It's always faster to karma cache because of those 30 seconds that you save. But if two people do a run where one person karma caches and one person gets food normally, you might want to like account for those 30 seconds because that's kind of a massive unfair advantage. Although that that kind of gets muddy and I don't know what the exact rules are in that kind of case. But I think sometime in the future, there's probably going to be a patch that like an update that fixes this problem where karma caching does actually take time or add time to the timer, as opposed to just subtracting 30 seconds out of nowhere. In which case, I think that like previous runs will be probably be retimed, taking into account the extra time that karma caching takes. Why are you here? You know, I don't like this. Just gonna restart. Oh, another weird case is if you don't decide to restart your save file, if you just continue playing after dying, you get placed back into this room with the timer reset. It's considered the first cycle, so the timer is reset so that you don't have to... if you're playing casually, you wouldn't have to go back and restart the save file just because you died. I don't know if it's allowed to like submit a run where you do that, where you let the timer just get reset and use that as your time. Oh, great. No, I'm just gonna restart. I mean, at the very beginning of the run, might as well. Lizard refeed taming. I think I do know. If you feed a lizard something and then you somehow pick the food back up and give it to them again, it'll count as like giving you extra, as like taming them again. Or feeding them again, even though it's the same piece of food. You gain 30 seconds over the actual start of the run. That might be the case. And if it is, then it makes sense why we would have to restart it. But that's a time where you do spend time in the run, but it doesn't sync up with what the timer says. But Green Lizard really tried to grab that late. Why did I have to do that? Oh, I want to grab your head. Why are there so many more vultures? Why am I stuck under this dude? Welcome to the stream where I'm just going to be restarting the run every 2 minutes. This totally isn't necessary for a world record, by the way. I could spend like 2 minutes trying to get a vulture mask, and if I do the rest of the run cleanly, then it will still get world record. Average Artificer speedrun experience, definitely. Oh wow, max karma. I really probably shouldn't throw them that far. I think that was a king vulture for a second. They're all the way over there. Another vulture. Excuse me. Excuse me, I need that vulture. You know, there's another scavenger over there. I'm just gonna hope that they have enough karma. If they are even still here. They have disappeared. Fine. I mean, just to... Okay, I'm really throwing here. It's a starter run. I'm just gonna keep going. That's enough movement again. Why am I in the Ohio room? You really shouldn't stick around in that area too long. But I wanted to find this scavenger that I dropped. This whole like process is the really annoying part of the vulture mask strategy. Because technically you don't need the vulture mask. You can do the run fine without it. Well, not really. You have to deal with all these lizards, which makes the run significantly more annoying and unreliable. But actually getting the vulture mask means that you just have to spend a lot more attempts. Because that room is not very consistent at all. A vulture might not show up. Maybe like 3 vultures shows up and it makes it way too difficult. Maybe a king vulture is there too. Maybe the red lizard or red centipede show up. Anything can happen that can slow you down. Okay, I'm just gonna go through this pipe. They have on explosive stamina. I don't really have a name for that. Because it's not the same as like gourmand stamina, but it's kind of similar. Guess I have food. Oh, this is a kind of short cycle. I might not even have enough time to make it to the wall. Overheat. Maybe that's what I can say. You can't make that jump. I shouldn't have tried it because I haven't tested it before. Here's a tip for speedrunning. don't do strategies you haven't tested before. Unless that's like the purpose of the run, to try to like lab out new strategies. Just do what you're familiar with and what you've already practiced. Okay, there has to be scavengers in this room. Excuse me. This area is particularly annoying if you don't have a vulture mask. There can be this pink lizard here, there can be a green lizard maybe. There's some cyan lizards, white lizards. It's a red lizard, but he doesn't care about the vulture mask. Kind of the same with greens, but that's a different case. The cyan layer here. Okay, here they all are. These lizards would be really annoying without the mask. They can still try to grab the vulture, or the, I always say that. They can try to grab the scavenger. Even if they're scared of the mask. So I don't know why that happens. Quite annoying. I guess it's better than just dying. Okay, there I accidentally grabbed their head. And I was not able to pull them up. That's why I want to avoid doing that. Although I have a vulture mask, I'm very scary. Run away. I don't like that he's going up with me. Okay, there we go. I think the fear timer has run out, so I need to get in here quickly. Is about a minute enough time to get through Chimney Canopy? We'll see. Refeed, tame that Scion? Why would you want to tame a Scion? Just wondering. There is a small amount of RNG in just the rain. So you might just not have enough time. It doesn't happen that often though. And it also depends on how fast you move. I will try. I'll still try to make it. Kind of got stunned there. Oh, King Vulture. I don't imagine. Okay, well, I know that like if you have like 2 minutes left, you can probably make it. Because that was decently close. It also depends on what kind of rain variation you get. They're very versatile and go to all regions, and they can take scav shots. And just to have a friend. That's a funny idea, but not really worth it at all. Lose time taming the lizard, and then like you don't even gain any benefit out of it. Because ideally you just run past everything. And you'd probably be moving too fast for a lizard to catch up, even a Scion. You'd have to lose time by like waiting in the gates for them to follow you. Okay, don't do that. Hello, welcome to the stream. Still restarting runs. I mean, even if you could tame a lizard very quickly, I just don't see how it helps. Turns out Artificer is harder when you have 2 children. Yeah, that makes sense. Hello? I'm up, please. So make sure to throw them very far away so that they don't knock the other scavengers off. I imagine that the character that is kind of meant to be fighting all the time would be a lot harder if you don't have any hands to throw. Oh. That lizard just like blocked a spear shot. There's a chance that a lizard or something grabs that. Yeah, how's that for taming a lizard very quickly? Okay. Let's just jump straight into the harpoon that wasn't even aimed at me. Only as Artificer. Keep in mind that after all of this, the run ends with a room full of scavengers that you have to get past and the Scav King. So, you know, the hardest part of the run at the very end. Just keep that in mind. Even if I get there very quickly, it does not mean that the run is secure. Yeah, let's just not get a scavenger with enough karma. How about it? I mean, technically, I could have just kept going and just hope that I ran into a scavenger later. Rather go with the consistent strategy. I didn't know that there was a chance that you wouldn't get a scavenger with enough karma. I thought that at least one of them would be guaranteed to have at least 4. I mean, I guess that doesn't really make sense. Like, why is 4 karma important? Like, that's what we need for the speedrun, but like, you don't really need it to progress casually. And well, I lose like 30 seconds restarting, so not that big of a deal. I need to do that a bit slower so that I don't stuck on that pole. There we go. That's enough karma. Oh gosh, I got scared. Sudden scavenger attack. Excuse me. That really did. Okay. Why are their heads so floppy? I just want to grab them. It's the kelp area. What? I'm pretty sure that we've already figured out what the ideal route is. Just going through exterior is very slow. Plus that you can't enter pebbles. That's a 5 karma requirement. So unless you want to carry a 5 karma scavenger that whole way. And the alternative is to go into shaded into industrial, which is where we're going anyways, so you know, I don't imagine that it's much faster to take a detour into shaded, because I have to go through this whole like tutorial section, which takes quite a while. Anyone who wants to do the speedrun, like, feel free to try out various strategies. See if any of them might be faster. That kind of happened with the Rivulet speedrun. where I kind of had a strategy in mind that I thought was the fastest, but then someone else just found a new strategy that was just way better that I never even thought of. So there's cases where there's maybe an obvious strategy that is actually better, but no one decided to check if it was actually good. 10 down 4 on Switch. Well, I'm not going to be testing new strategies for the chance that they're slightly better, because I already know that this works. And also, I didn't even come up with the strategy. I'm just copying what I've seen other runners do. Oh, that's real convenient. This is actually the fastest way to get a Vulture Mask. Oh. Just kidding. This is the fastest way to go with the Vulture Mask. Just grab one of the ones on the floor that are definitely going to be there every time. But like ideally you just like throw a single spear to get a Vulture Mask, but that is so inconsistent. Like don't even bother trying to do that. The stun and then grab their head strategy is like somewhat consistent. Probably if you learn it. I haven't. The drop wig. There's a chance that those Sand Lizards will just grab the scavenger out of your hands. What did I just say? Okay, I guess you could just immediately throw it and just lose me time for no reason. Yeah, that can happen. Where for like a second, I guess the lizards don't notice that you have a mask and will just try to attack you anyway. Or maybe they only see the scavenger for a bit. It's kind of strange why they do that. I think Garbage Word should be in vanilla. Is it in Downpour? I never even like think about killing garbage worms because it's just a bad idea. Like they're already not aggressive to you, so like why would you? But I guess maybe it's a mod. Okay. But even then, that's kind of strange. I kind of like that they're invincible. It's like, okay, well, they're not invincible. You can throw a singularity bomb to kill them. But, you know, with spears. You can with a glitch. What, kill garbage worms? Yep, don't mind me. Please. Ooh, rip that lizard. Despite the mask, that green lizard was ready to bite. I think it's pretty lucky with the scavengers. I haven't run into any since entering industrial. I was wondering why is there a pearl right there? This game sometimes. Excuse me. And then I kind of wonder if going the bottom route through this room is faster. I tend to get stuck going up top. You know, I didn't actually expect to grab onto that pole. Okay, well, I have a little bit more time on this attempt, so like 3 pips instead of 2, so I get, actually this is probably still bad, because if it starts raining before I enter the wall gate, then I won't be able to make it up the wall. I have to move very fast. That wet lizard almost made things a lot more difficult. Yep, cycle timer doesn't pass during gates. That's why there's kind of a point where, like, so if you're in a long cycle and you want to get to some region, oh, hello spider. You don't see a spider in this area. So I want to make it to the wall right now. If I make it to the gate while it's raining, then I kind of took a risk there because I wasn't entirely sure if I could make that jump. Oh goodness. If I make it to the gate and it's already raining, then I'm probably going to die when I exit the gate because time will continue to pass. The rain will get more and more intense while I'm waiting in the gate. Okay, this is going to be close. But if I make it to the gate before it starts raining, then I have, like, it's not going to get any more intense. Okay, well, there goes any chance of making it, probably. Please. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is exactly what I was talking about. Well, okay, that's the point where you can get to the gate safely, but it's going to start raining. The rocks are bouncing all over the place. So I'm going to have to stay in the shelter. Or die instantly, I don't know, whatever happens first. Which is unfortunate. I'll have to spend extra time getting food. Although usually it's not that hard. You can, like, just kill a single lizard for food. And it's easy with the mask. I wanted to avoid staying in shelters like this one. How much does sleeping here lose? How much time? I don't know. But it's not ideal. You can, I don't know, look at the timer. How long did that take? Can't believe that worked. I mean, I knew that I was safe. You can pretty much always get into that shelter as long as, I mean, it takes quite a while for the rain to become instantly deadly. Whoops. So the next annoying part about this run is getting to pebbles because there are a bunch of scavengers there for some reason. The developer thought, you know, it's a big open area where scavengers have a perfect opportunity to snipe you from across the map. How about we put a bunch of scavengers there? I know that there usually aren't scavengers there, but, you know, just for fun. Like, maybe I can understand the scavengers being like a bit below that area, kind of around where that last shelter is in the wall. I didn't even need to do that jump. I don't like this guy. considered making an explosive spear right there. Here's some food. And like, there we go. A few seconds to get food back. Not that bad. Not ideal. But we're still going. This is another area where having a vulture mask makes it significantly easier. You can't just ignore the lizards without it. Here is where scavengers start being a problem. That's just a bat fly. Yep, here's one. This should be the last shelter that I take. And also where I will probably die. Oops. This little bit of the wall right here is probably some of my favorite movements in the game. Why last shelter? Because I want to get a good time. So no more time spend on getting food and finding other shelters for safety. He's going to make it to Pebbles, port back here, and then make it to the end. So will I die to a spirit from off screen? Okay, so at least I know that I can see them on the map in advance if I check the... If I do this. So there's one right here. Kind of got lucky with that shot. He was holding an Overseer eye. Oh, great. I hope that I just killed both of those scavengers right then. Wow, I did. That worked way better than it should have. If you want to speedrun this category, do not do what I'm doing. There's a few shelters that I'll point out as places that you should stay in. But that's not what I'm going for. Ability solution. I think it's just skill. I think you're just talking about skill. This area is fun. It's way easier as Artificer compared to any other character to do this little bit. But unfortunately, we don't really get to do that much ZRG movement. And the run. Depending on what the time is around the end, I may take a shelter. I might. If I'm like on a super good run and I don't want to mess it up at the end. But also, like, it wouldn't be fun if I just ended the stream right now, right? So I got to go for the risky strats. Oops. So even though I exited out of Pebbles, the drone still saves that information. So I want to take this time to point out a little complaint that I have. When you enter Pebbles, once you enter his like actual chamber, there's that whole like little sequence that plays out for a bit. He mentions that the ID drone that follows you around is like broken in some way, and he does something to fix it. I don't remember what exactly he says, but it takes like 10 seconds for him to like re-verify the drone. Like, why does it take that long, you know? Pebbles is like a massive supercomputer. He should do it in like a fraction of a second. But like this whole like animation, I mean, I guess they wanted to show off this little fancy little animation that they created. Sure, but it'd make more sense if Pebbles just did it instantaneously to show that he is in fact a supercomputer. Here's a shelter that I recommend taking if you die to the beginning of Metropolis. There's also a popcorn plant right there for food. Nice lag spikes. Gotta love them. I mean, it's only like a small portion of the structure that has rot in it. There's still a whole lot left. I mean, the best explanation that I have is that he's focusing most of his like computation on the Great Problem, and just like there's a small little bit left for doing like other various things, like verifying the drone. I don't like this guy. He doesn't have any spears though. That guy has spears. He's gone now. I'll pick up the mask again. So just going on without it, but there's some Scion lizards in the next few rooms, so might as well just play it safe. I mean, I know that I'm dead. I'll be honest, I did not even register that there were scavengers there. Okay, we're all the way back here. At least we get this music playing on this run. Also, hello and welcome to everyone who's joined the stream. Kind of makes me sad that this song plays at the beginning of Metropolis. It's such an amazing moment for when you're starting off with the DLC, because you know most people play Artificer first or second, but then once you actually get into Metropolis, it's like a bunch of scavengers you have to fight. I don't think that's the most fun type of gameplay. Honestly, I mean, despite the fact that I'm speedrunning this right now, I don't really like Artificer's campaign, especially for a casual player. I think it would have been cool if Metropolis was just a big open area that you could explore and discover a bunch about the ancient society, but instead it's mostly about scavengers. Oh, if you want to keep your head over there, I would appreciate it. Okay, there we go. Not the best at doing that, especially if they get stuck in that little area down there, but that still works out. You know, I'll take it, you know. If I'm given this, I'm gonna take it. Having a King Vulture mask or a regular mask barely makes the run any better. There was one time where a Scion Lizard was no longer scared of the regular Vulture mask in the previous run, so maybe I'll avoid that scenario. That's probably the best way that I can get through that room consistently. Hopefully this will also convince the lizards not to grab the scavenger. Okay, I'm not getting any of the rolls that I wanted. I don't even know what happened there, but it was fast. What's my method for killing the king scavenger? I don't know. That's something that I've been trying to figure out for the past like week. But I've come up with something that's somewhat consistent. Whoops, that's not correct at all. And it's basically to try to collect a bunch of spears around the bottom of the, like right underneath where the king stands. Like stockpile a bunch of spears there. And then try to knock the king down into that area to stun him and then just spam spears. And another thing that I sometimes did when practicing is to hang out like around that area where the king hangs out. I don't know what to call it, the throne. To kind of hang out up there and wait for the scab king to go underneath me where I can then land on him with a parry and use all the spears that he was carrying to throw against him. That's not how you do this. But it's definitely probably the hardest part of the run for me. Either that or the scavenger troll right before it. Both of those areas are very inconsistent. But I did practice them a decent amount before this stream. But parrying is like definitely the best way to deal with them. I tried using strategies that involving grenades, but I feel like it never actually did any damage. Oh, there's a drop hook there. Same with explosive spears. They don't really do any more damage than just throwing regular spears until the armor is gone. There's also this thing that you can do where you can like stand up on the platform with the king and like just spam like a single spear. And as long as he like stays up there and the spear doesn't go flying off the platform, then you can like throw a whole lot more spears. Maybe enough to break the armor. In like a perfect case scenario, in a perfect scenario, you break the armor up on the top platform with one spear, and then you drop down and throw an explosive spear. I think that's like in a super ideal scenario. 55 minutes late. It's fine. I mean, I did lose a run in Metropolis. That was going pretty good, but you know, once you get past garbage waste, things get a lot easier. But well, if you have a Vulture Mask, otherwise it's still pretty hard. But it doesn't really get hard again until the end of the wall. Excuse me, spider. The problem with using parrying, though, is that it very quickly makes you run out of stamina. Okay, that kind of works out. This guy enters the pipe. The moment you do like more than 2 parries, you might stun yourself, which gives the Scab King enough time to attack back. So they totally dismissed that lizard that was standing there doing nothing. Now I have to get past this. You know I'm here. Hello? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I've actually noticed that before. I have hit the Scab King with an explosive spear. We still had armor on. I did break most of the armor beforehand. I think like, I hit him with 2 spears and then explosive spear, but the explosive spear went, or it dodged the armor and actually killed them. So that's, I don't know if there's like a consistent way to hit that though. I feel like it's the same kind of luck as like getting a Vulture Mask from a single spear throw. Like, headshots always hit in the back of the head. Okay, let me just get behind the Scab King. You could do it on the first hit. Maybe I'll try that. The thing is that trying it means risking the end of a potentially good run, you know? If I knew about that, I would have practiced it beforehand. Also, okay, I no longer need that scavenging. This time, I don't need to stay in this shelter. Guess that was the one bad thing about the last run. Should have picked up that spear. Not a big deal. How about this? After this attempt, wherever it ends, I'm going to test out some of those strategies against the Scab King. I made a hitbox visualizer mod. Maybe. I'm not aware of one. No, they kind of got in my way. So in this room, if you have a regular Vulture Mask, there's a chance that the fear timer on the lizards will run out before you get to the end. Although that pretty rarely happens as Artificer. So you can do this little skip a lot faster. But that's like pretty much never going to happen with the King Vulture Mask. No, I can just do one jump there. No need to slide. I don't like that. Oh, they already grabbed a white lizard. So I'm perfectly safe doing this. Excuse me. Okay. Somehow they just went past me. They're freaking out so much because of the mask. I hate this. Okay, I really don't like anything about this. Yeah, that's why. Where is it? I may have to close the game for this. Yep. Okay. Don't mind the black screen for a bit. That room where I died is really annoying if there's scavengers in there. They like to fill up the tunnels and making it impossible to get by. So you just really hope that there aren't scavengers there. So here is what I planning on doing. Here we are. Actually, I'm going to... I don't know what any of these shelters are. Sure, let's stay in this shelter. Actually, do I have food? I should have turned on dev tools too. Okay, just go to the end. I'm gonna go to sleep. Never mind. Okay. So, possibility of ending the fight immediately. How quick does he turn around? I don't have dev tools on. I should have turned it on. I have to go to this loading screen for a bit. Six. To the right. You are correct about that. Excuse me. So now what we can do, just immediately go to the end from there. So I'm going to mess around with a few strategies here. I'll try to see if I can get the single explosive spear. Okay, that didn't even work at all. I missed. That's what happened. Only I could hold on to 2 explosive spears. Wouldn't that be nice? But so far, it's just been very easy to... to miss. Thought that maybe throwing above would work. That's not even... I'm trying to pick up this pole. It's not a spear. That might have killed them. I might have seen the drone blinking. Means that they're dead. I don't know if a point blank grenade kills them if the armor's broken. That might be an easier strategy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know about this, I don't know about the potential of the one explosive spear. This is kind of the thing that I did in practice. I want to grab onto them. So I would stand up here. Okay, jump away. Just missed that. That worked. But, I mean, I messed up a lot there, but that's kind of the strategy that I'm going for. Just hanging out above on that top platform and dropping down with a parry. Although I didn't do a parry that time. I was trying to use a grenade somehow. I'll try this grenade thing. Although it's kind of hard to throw up with these poles in the way. Didn't even knock him off the platform or do any damage. He can still hit you if you're up here. Oh, by map. The problem with this strategy is that it's just kind of slow. And I guess it's better than a strategy that doesn't work at all. Maybe he'll pass fine better if I'm like here, but then I'm easier to hit. They're really stockpiling those spears. They bamboozled me. Hello. You know, I've never seen them actually jump up onto those poles, but I didn't know what to do. Maybe there's a better place I can try to hit with the grenade to send him in the right direction. Maybe I'll like try to be like kind of here. Now he has no weapons and is, well, they're not even stunned for a while. But just for fun, let's add like 20 more scavengers to this whole room. The moment extra scavengers start showing up, it makes everything a lot harder. Although they didn't even seem to do anything. You see the problem here. I'm not able to consistently defeat him, which is the ideal scenario for the end of a speedrun. That's quite difficult to even get to this point. Here's a bit of the strategy that I tried doing a few times. Basically, get all the spears over here. There we go. That worked out. That's pretty much exactly. No, it's I should practice in this room to get the most realistic experience of what an actual run would be like once I get here. Oh, that's the wrong room. One problem with throwing all these spears over there is that it just gives more ammo to the Scavenger King. I want him to be in this little pit right here. That's the problem though. Now he's running away. Want to come back over here? with a single spear. Once you accidentally grab onto him, you actually kind of really hard to drop him at that point. It's quite annoying. But that should have killed him there. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to avoid just grabbing him. Then you can't throw spears, and it takes a long time. It doesn't even do that much damage. I'm gonna try the strategy one more time, and then we'll get back into normal speedruns. Did bring a spear up here. I don't know why I get sent flying sometimes. Now I'm overheating. There, I used the correct term. There's not many good places to like perfectly line up all your shots, even though he's stunned. For whatever reason, right there. Okay, well, I mean, I killed him a few times in a row, so I guess that strategy works well enough. Turn off warp menu. All of this is good. Don't mind the black screen. Game will be back in a second. I rather should have something to go up on the screen when the game is closed. It's just a completely black screen the whole time. All right, here we go. Actual attempts starting up again. Got about 2 hours left to get a good run. They want to move this down real quick. No penalty to the timer. I always kind of habitually go down to reset. I always do that for speedruns. You always want to reset here though. Alright, time to fail to get a vulture mask for 20 attempts. King vulture. How about a regular vulture too, just for fun? There's no good outcome here. Not even dead. Nope, I want that scavenger. You know what? Let's go. I might run into a scavenger later, so that's what I'm gonna rely on. Great. Never fun to see these. There's a red centipede down there. That room is the higher room, by the way. Although past a few rooms, it's really unlikely that you find a scavenger, so I kind of doubt that I will be able to continue this run. I saw that squid kid and I was like, is that a scavenger? No, it isn't. I don't know if there's any, like... Wow. Okay, I did still touch the acid for a bit. I don't know why some characters can do that. Just ignore the acid. I don't see any scavengers though. Nor any places that where scavengers might be. Maybe like on just like some random room on the side. Like what's up here? Oh wow, a scavenger. I recommend that you don't run into a king vulture in the first room. Not the first room, the room where you get the mask. Just like hope that there isn't a king vulture. It makes everything harder for no reason. I know that there is nothing that you can do to prevent a king vulture from showing up, but I guess you can just restart the run. Go for another attempt. Multi-screen arena maps against other people. How about multiplayer where every player can just be in their own room, see what they're doing? Uh-oh. Okay, that should be enough to deter them. Vulture, however. Oh great, there's a green lizard. Hello, vultures. Okay, here's a vulture. And then by the time I get back, there's 22 vultures in this room now. Although I've never seen that happen before. Getting carried up by a vulture, but still stabbing it with an explosive spear in time. Because if you just throw a normal spear in that situation, it doesn't release you. But the explosion is eventually strong enough. Although you would probably die to the explosion, as any other character. Max Karma. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm actually not going to stay in that room. Okay, well, this vulture says otherwise. I was planning on trying to drag the vulture out of that room. I'm very glad that they have decided to... Why'd I enter the time? Really? I need that. Hey, you. What's your karma level? I totally would have hit that scavenger if they didn't dodge. Go back into the pipe. It is enough. Not the fastest way to get a mask or scavenger, but it is a way. Well, I don't need to do that first explosive jump. Oh wow. Very cleanly went into that pipe. Don't know if I can do another jump. I'm kind of paying attention to the timer in this room. I know that it's possible to get into here at about 3 minutes. And I got here at like 3... I forgot already, but like 10 seconds slower than that, so... Even though I'm not using splits, I can still kind of keep track of if I'm ahead or not. In this case, because of the stuff with the scavenger, vulture, it's a bit slower, but honestly 10 seconds is not really what I care about. It's mostly the few minutes that I'll save by not dying to all the stuff at the end. Also, you are all awful. Do you know that? Okay, I really didn't want to do it like this. What's your karma level? Not high enough. I'm dead. What is the current world record? I think it's about 26 minutes. Although there's a possibility of a faster time existing, but that hasn't been verified on speedrun.com, which is what the leaderboard that I'm looking at. But the reason I'm confident in saying that I can get a world record, well, whether I can finish the run is the question, but if I finish the run, I think it is. I'm probably going to get a good time. You want to check my karma level? Yep. Because I know that I think I can do this in around 23 minutes. Just by like skipping a bunch of shelters. And constantly moving forward. If you actually look at the current world record, at least that's been verified. They don't really use that much movement tech. Like, they don't use slides, they don't use that many like roll pounces. So just by using this tech, I'm already like faster than that. Hello, welcome to the stream. I just said, I don't want to be in this room. You don't see anything. Of course, everything has to go wrong here. Also, dead red lizard. Oh, come on. Excuse me. Okay, I actually did that a little bit faster, although I'm not holding the scavenger properly. No, that's my dead friend. How dare you? I think I did that a little bit faster than last time, but still not great. Never great when like 20 different creatures show up, of course. Last time there was a drop up there, he grabbed the scavenger I'm carrying. Oh, don't mind me. These slime lizards, by the way, are why I really don't like garbage waste. I mean, for the speedrun, getting the vulture mask means that they're pretty much irrelevant. But if you don't have a karma mask, then it makes getting through garbage waste really difficult. Way more difficult than shaded, once you learn the route through shaded. So here we are at about 3 minutes, 6 seconds, so a bit faster than last attempt. Although what will happen in the future of this run will depend on how many scavengers I run into. Okay, messed up the timing of that. And I already see scavengers. Not the best thing to see in a speedrun. Definitely. Oh, did they go through the pipe at the same time? That sure is convenient. No, and I didn't want the scavengers. I wanted like 20 vultures instead. And a king vulture too. Why not? But actually, that king vulture was just to take out the... Okay, I don't like this. Oh yeah, thanks for going into that tunnel, scavenger. Okay, I mean, lost a bit of time to random creatures here and there, but still pretty good overall. Okay, I should also point out that I specifically dislike the hunter variations of garbage waste. So, like Spearmaster, Artificer, Hunter. For most other characters, that's totally a fine region. Just like the slime lizards and like dealing with slime lizards in those rooms that are filled with water, it's like a huge pain. Because you can't really move that quickly, and the slime lizards have a huge advantage over your movement. And if you like being friends with scavengers, which I usually do, it's not as bad. Because most of the time I actually prefer befriending scavengers. No drop hook here this time. Your master pull plant. Your friends at the one at the top of the, or yeah, around the top of the wall. It's a pull plant that's like not there as any other character. I don't know why people would ever die to that. Because, I mean, if you've ever been to the wall before, you know that there's not a pole there. Like, oh, I guess this pole has been here and it just fell off, even though that never happens in any other character. Messed up all the double jumps there. Yeah, I always think that like as the harder characters, like it gets to the point where it just feels like they're spamming red creatures. It no longer becomes an enjoyable game. Like, wow, Railroad, it's a simulation of like an accurate, or a somewhat realistic ecosystem. Don't mind like the 20 different apex predators everywhere. And then, of course, for the gameplay, it just is not fun to deal with that many dangerous creatures. Don't mind me. Try to grab the scavenger there. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of this either. Oh, just a regular. Oh, okay. Can't just have one vulture. Really tried to hit me from down there. Surprisingly, we've made it through. Okay. Almost spoke too soon there. This is a good start to the actual hard parts of the run. I know that I've like already died like 20 times at the very beginning. That's not really as bad as the wall and Metropolis. Now we no longer need the scavenger. I do like this part of the run, the fact that you no longer have to carry the scavenger with you once you get to the wall. This pace? World record pace? Probably. On previous attempts, I have managed to get to the Scavenger King in about 23 minutes. So I'm going for... I imagine that if I'm continuously just moving forward with the same strategies that I'm using, that I used before, I should be able to get a similar time, but I don't actually know what... like, if I'm on pace or not. But the question is not about if I'm gonna... I feel like the question isn't about if I'm gonna get world record, it's if I'm gonna finish a run. So I'm taking a lot of risky strategies. That's why I'm confident in getting a good time. Because most players, most people who've done speedruns to this character, they don't just run forward the whole time. They take a bunch of safety shelters, and you have to go everywhere to get food sometimes. That is not what I'm doing here. Love when these silent are just jumping all over the place in panic. Although this room actually sucks. If you don't have a vulture mask, dealing with it's like, should there really be this many silent lizards in a single room? Plenty of space for them to jump around. And then you have to deal with a bunch of white lizards afterwards. I don't like this white lizard in this tunnel. Okay, they moved out. Sometimes they kind of get stuck in there. It's an unfortunate place to overheat. Hey, don't do it. It's supposed to jump there. No, I'm glad that you're here to get rid of at least one scavenger. Although I did have to move out of the way for a bit. This room sucks. There are scavengers in here. They like to kill you. Unless you get lucky. Oh, there they are. This will be the last shelter that I take. Why are you here? One scavenger suggests the possibility of multiple scavengers. In this room? I've never seen scavengers in this room. Why were they there? That's not how I wanted to do that, but it worked out. No longer need the mask. So to do a little strategy here, I like to pause and look at the map because I'll know if there's a scavenger ahead of me in the next screen. Although it's not really helpful in these areas where you don't have something to hide behind. Okay, I got lucky. A lot of this run is luck. Are there scavengers or are there not scavengers? The answer is probably there will be scavengers, but yeah, maybe not. And those few situations are when you get good times or actually get to finish the run. It's not fun to spend 3 minutes fighting the scavengers there. And luckily, you don't have to go back through that part of the wall. Oops, messed up there. The thing covered the screen. Yeah, there's a bunch of random items in that room, like rocks and spears and stuff. And the sounds that they make when they fall and hit the ground, it sounds like scavengers, because scavengers carry those items and they hit the environment as they walk around. So I always like connect those sounds to scavengers, even though, you know, they're just like the items on their own. They don't have anything to do with scavengers. I think there you actually do a explosive jump forward to slow down, since it sets your speed to a set value. If you're moving faster than that, it just slows you down. You don't want to be moving too fast or else you don't grab onto the pole. Yeah, that was unnecessary, but I was kind of scared. Even though I had the mask, there's like no chance I would have died, but... At least you get to do this little portion multiple times. Why was there a second one? There are 5 pebbles. Yep, I guess you're correct. No, I don't know if it's faster to jump like diagonally or just forward. There might be scavengers in this room. Oh wow, nice shot, dude. Luckily they did not have a spear. Oh, okay. Nice surprise for the scavenger when he comes out of that room. I don't really like that I don't have a spear right now. I will surely find one in the next room. That is unfortunate. I really thought that they would be too distracted by the lizard. This same exact thing happened earlier in the stream. Get to Metropolis, die, and then we get to hear this music when starting the next run. I probably should have been more careful in that situation. Like, oh, there's a scavenger there. I'll just run past him. Not dangerous at all. I know that he's throwing spears at this lizard. Alright, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Of course, 2 vultures have to show up here. Yep, and then, yeah. I probably only have time for like 2 or 3 more good attempts. That is not counting all the attempts I'm going to spend trying to get a vulture mask. That's how these runs go. Spend like 20 attempts dying to vultures and red lizards and whatever. Or just like taking too long to get a vulture mask. And then like get all the way to the wall. There's no in between. I very rarely die on the way there. That's why I prefer to grab a mask. It's not really that much faster, but it is much more consistent. Lizard trampoline. Wow. Okay, perfect. Don't ever expect that to happen again. Okay. Okay. I messed up. I thought I was dead. Don't just run out of red lizards like that. I do not recommend. But it did work out. Not jump up right there. Okay, this is significantly faster because of how quickly I grabbed the mask. Hopefully I can keep this pace up. Kind of don't like the fact that I'm not seeing any creatures. Kind of just feel like it means that I'm going to see a lot more creatures later. It's super empty right now. They were so ready to grab that scavenger out of my hands. No scavengers at all in this whole area. There's an egg bug. I really like the sounds of slime lizards now. All the new lizard sounds are really good. Yep, just go into that pipe. Thank you. Probably sand lizards, orange lizards, and mole lizards are some of my favorites. The sounds that they make. Oops. Just not many creatures in this whole region. It's a very lucky run. Don't want to go up there. I don't like you. Usually you can just completely ignore drop wigs if they're not hanging from the ceiling. Because they kind of have these like three modes, I guess. It's hanging from a ceiling, trying to find a spot on the ceiling to hang from, or like hunts mode. And they enter like hunting mode right after dropping from the ceiling. But when they're looking for a place to drop from, then they are not aggressive at all. You could basically just walk past them. They'll walk past you too. I think I'm getting really lucky with the creatures. I mean, that just means that I'm going to be unlucky with the creatures later, aren't I? Okay, overheating now. I think either of those lizards could have grabbed the scavenger. Yeah, I thought I dropped the scavenger for a second. Now we can drop it. It's not like I would have not been stuck at the other side of the gate. You can't even enter the gate without the scavenger. Bye, lizard. Slime lizard all the way down here. Usually it's a blue lizard falling down this room. I mean, I guess they are also a blue lizard. Okay, I'm just gonna go through this pole. So I don't want to get stuck. That dropwork, although I also don't want to go left side or else the vulture might see me. Excuse me. Kind of rude to drop on somebody like that in the sky. I am glad that that king vulture grabbed that lizard. You know, a fascinating thing about king vultures is that they can't detach their harpoons from the wall. They have to like pull them out. It's something that you'll notice if you play safari mode. You're playing as a king scavenger and you harpoon something, you can't just unstick it. You have to like fly away from it to pull it out. I think it's a kind of fascinating thing that that's like just part of their AI to try to like fly away from the spot where they harpooned to try to pull it out of the wall. It's not just like after some time the harpoon just detaches automatically, but it's like they really have to do something. That isn't just like some predefined action. Sure do love having a vulture mask in this area. I'd really hate this area though. I don't see any scavengers though. I do see injured injured lizards though, which is not a good sign. Please get out of the way. Thank you. Don't see any scavengers though. Someday I'm going to be right below that platform, about to climb up, and then a scavenger shows up and instantly throws a spear at me. Didn't happen this time though. The run so far, we are currently in the middle of a very good run. This is probably the fastest I've been so far. However, the hardest part of the run is ahead of this. So, especially the next area. So if I'm going to die this run, this is a likely place for it. There's always a scavenger in this tunnel for some reason. I guess if you just stand right there, you can see to the next screen anyway. So yep, here are the scavengers. There's two of them, which is not ideal. Now I don't even have a spear to throw. I didn't mean to parry. Man, misinput, ending the run. That's unfortunate. Although fighting two scavengers in that scenario is quite difficult. If I had a bunch of spears, I could have just like thrown a bunch and hoped that I hit them. Just what I did on one of my last attempts. But not that time. Maybe if I didn't check the map and I just kept running forward, I would have been able to do something. Kind of didn't want this one to have max karma. So I was holding it weird. I'm just kind of like sad that I'm not going to ever get that pace again. Like, it was such a lucky start to a run that kept going throughout the whole thing. I could just like get this scavenger. Ah, yeah. I'm just missing the explosive spear there. Don't do that. Definitely wanted to grab that pearl. It actually is kind of nice to have a Scion Lizard here. If a vulture shows up, they might get distracted by it instead of the scavenger, but there is no. And first, we can't just have one scavenger or one vulture. That would be way too unrealistic. Hey, I said, I forgot to speak the English language. What is this? Like, actually? Why? Oh, wow. Like, a slug cat, a scavenger, and a single lizard. How about all of us go at the same time? I mean, I guess that is, like, a decent amount of food if they all... I mean, I guess they were successful. Sometimes I think it's a little bit ridiculous. Like, does there really need to be that many vultures in a single room? Plus king vulture? Plus red lizard, red centipede. Land, like, you know... Sometimes the spawns are a bit ridiculous, I think. That would have been fine if the other vultures didn't show up. Grabbing his head again. Okay. That's quite the distance to throw them. Okay, scout or vultures. I'd like one of you to show up. Not like 50, not just one. That's a king vulture though. Not what I'm looking for. No, while I was gone, I really do appreciate this Scion Lizard. Okay, well here's a start. About 20 seconds slower than that previous good attempt. When I say good attempt, I mean not the attempts where I reset at the very beginning of garbage wastes. Because usually if I get past that point, I'm gonna make it to at least the wall. I don't like that I'm overheating though. That's an angle to go at for sure. Okay, I think the Vulture Mask is long gone. Wasn't really happy about that start anyway. Remember when I said that I'm usually able to get to the wall? I mean, I didn't expect the drop wing to go at such a steep angle. I mean, steep for a drop wing. They were aiming at me. Oh, don't mind me. Okay, definitely mind me. Do I only stream on YouTube? Oh, I'm also on Twitch. Didn't get any of the rolls that I was going for. I see King Vulture. I prefer regular Vulture. Actually, you know, I'd like any Vulture at all. That's the ideal scenario. Which is not what's happening right now. I just fused with the Scavenger for a second. Okay, still a good run. Or a good start. That is an option. Hello, I'm up. Gotta be a better way to do that a little bit. No drop wig there. Hello. Why do I speak? Yes, there's a drop wig there. Don't have much time left to get a good run. Well, actually, I do have a decent amount of time left, but not if I keep dying at the beginning. But that room with the acid pool at the bottom is pretty much the last dangerous place in garbage wastes. The rest is pretty easy after that. like when they don't have enough karma. A lot of fun just having to restart right here. I don't know what that thing is on the about to come out of that pipe. I don't want to stick around to find out. Really, I just grabbed one with enough karma from the beginning. Okay, we kind of messed up all those rolls. So I'm going to keep going. Oh, come on. Vulture over here? Probably not. Oh, I don't want to eat the scavenger. I want to eat the vulture mask. That took longer than it should have. But it needs to start to run at least. Oh wow. Good job, Vulture. Wow, Vulture carrying Red Lizard carrying Scavenger. That's why the Vulture was able to actually grab them. Otherwise, a Red Lizard should never really lose to a Vulture. These guys are busy fighting each other, not me. I had to drop bug. That can happen sometimes. For some reason, drop bugs really like acid. Sign almost went for it all the way. Probably better to do a horizontal jump there. Okay, this is on pace. I have a dislike for you. Okay. I was kind of lucky, honestly. Have fun with that vulture, guys. Okay, went into the right pipe there. If you're not high enough, it's very easy to go into the bottom pipe because of the way the scavenger is kind of hanging below you. If the scavenger enters the pipe first, then that's the pipe that you enter. Didn't want to do that. That lizard did not see the mask. Oh, well, I'm glad they didn't actually grab the mask or the scavenger. Do in fact have enough time this cycle. Funny how that happened. The two runs where I did not have enough time. So that very rarely happens. Okay. Oh, the scavenger. No, just a bat fly. Multiple bat flies. Can be slightly annoying that a lot of creatures have the same color when going through pipes, so you can't tell which one of them it is. Oh, it's just hope. An area where scavengers do show up sometimes, so I will check that and then probably restart. Well, there's one. Yep, and that's the den. If there's one scavenger, there will probably be more. Not in here. You're not a scavenger. There's a scavenger within like 10 seconds. I'll continue. Fortunately not. It does suck how that. I mean, I really should have just looked for the drop wig on the ceiling. I know that there's a drop wig somewhere in that area, so keep an eye out. But if I wasn't already in the process of going through the pipe, I would have been able to get it back too. Figure out what I'm doing. Why are they kind of on the outside? It looks like this slug cat, for whatever reason, wants to bring a scavenger all the way from garbage wastes up into the wall. Just for fun, I guess. Okay, vultures. Now's your time. Not king vulture. Yeah, I don't really know how to deal with king vultures. Say, even if you hit them directly with like social spear, it's not enough to kill them. And I'm not good at lining up the head grab after stunning them. I don't know how people do that. Or maybe it isn't consistent. I mean, I'm not the one seeing all of their failed attempts, so maybe it's like they have even more attempts where they restart trying to go for that. Not enough karma. Alright, there, Truby. Why did I hit his wing? Yeah, I wish you could do a parry after getting grabbed. The way you can throw items shortly after getting grabbed. Maybe that'd just be too powerful. You always have an option to escape, whereas you need to be carrying an item to do the other strategy. But I kind of, like, of course, two vultures that show up at the same time. It might have worked out if I didn't hit one of them in the wing. Does a lot less damage if you do that. Getting really good at the beginning right here, like with the Saint. Resetting so much that you get really good at the beginning of the run. It's kind of how it is for all speedruns. Here's the second. Oh, I need that. And of course, here's a bunch of masks laying on the floor. Probably just could have kept going down there. There's the drop wig in this room. Not a fan of that. And the scout or this is gonna grab him. Oh. Okay. Oh. Well, hello. Pseudo raid. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. We are doing some speedruns. Some of them have been pretty successful, but it's hard to get a run started. So a lot of this has been hanging out in garbage wastes, just trying to get a vulture mask. Current RD world record, I think it's about 26 minutes. Although it's a little more complicated than that, because that's based on the speedrun.com leaderboards. And it takes a few weeks for runs to get verified on there. So there's a possibility that someone else has already done a time better than that, but it just hasn't been verified yet. But I think that I can get a time around 23 minutes. That's kind of my goal. I'm using a lot of risky strategies. Hardest part of the whole speedrun, technically, it's this section right here, where I try to get a vulture mask. Or I could just do it perfectly. No. Grab the vulture. Grab the scavenger. So I got very lucky there, sniping the mask like that. Does not always happen like that. It rarely ever happens like that. But I've spent a lot of attempts just restarting because I died to the vultures there. But the actual hardest part of the run, after this short little bit in garbage waste, is definitely the end of Metropolis. So the very end of the run, there's a room that is a scavenger toll that's like several screens long. It's filled with scavengers you have to get past. And then after that, you have to fight the Scav King. I've come up with a few strategies that are somewhat consistent fighting the Scav King. But it's super unreliable. You know how dealing with scavengers it can be. If you do know. So of course the hardest part of the run is the very end. But now I'm actually starting to move forward a little bit. Usually if I can get past garbage weights, I can make it to the wall. That's usually how it is. Although I have lost a few runs to Kimmy Canopy. Having a vulture mask just makes everything so much easier. How do I get consistent with the toll? My strategy is to throw grenades. There's a spot where I throw a grenade from that pretty consistently hits the scavengers off screen. And then you just kind of run forward and throw spears and just hope that you don't run into too many more scavengers. It is not consistent though. It's better than nothing though. Like at least there is a strategy. If anyone is interested in trying Artificer speedruns, I will point out a few locations where I would recommend to shelter. Because I'm pretty much going to completely avoid taking shelters past a few points where it's required. I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. Jump through them all and hope that I don't get stabbed. Okay, I kind of got lucky there. That the scavengers weren't too big of a problem. Hello, Dropper. Farther run can you say the most time compared to the world record? If you look at the world record right now, the run that is on speedrun.com, you'll notice that they don't do that much advanced movement at all. They're pretty much just using explosive jumps and like regular jumps. Maybe they roll a few times, but they don't do many slide pounces. They don't do many. Like there's a lot of opportunities to improve in movement, but other than that, there's a shelter right before the scavenger toll at the end. And I recommend that you take that shelter because you're probably going to die to the toll. However, my strategy is, well, I'll see. You know, if I get there like really quickly, then I might afford. I have the time to take the shelter. But I'm probably going to skip it, which does save some time because you don't need to get food, and you don't need to actually go down to the shelter and go through the whole like shelter animation. But that, of course, is incredibly risky. How much time? Okay, for reference, I have gotten to the Scavenger King in about 23 minutes. I died, so that's unfortunately you can't just get a good run. But I know that that's possible. And you know, I've had time to practice and improve since then, so probably like sub 23 if you killed the Scavenger King quickly. Excuse me. All of these lizards here are not a problem because of the vulture mask. That's why I recommend them. Like, even though it is kind of painful to try to get a vulture mask, it's super worth it. For all of those lizards that you can just ignore. Make sure to check for a drop hook on the ceiling there. For no particular reason. It's not like I lost a run to it recently. Lizards. So I don't see any scavengers or vultures. That's a good sign. I had to get in the way slightly. Excuse me. I have a vulture mask. What are you doing? Luckily, they grabbed onto the the scavenger and not me. Hello, clown. Struggled a lot with Artie's campaign, then killed the Scav King on the first attempt. I also killed the Scav King on the first attempt. But it's super luck based. I do not remember what my strategy was. But the next time that I played Artie and I got to the Scav King, I did not do it first attempt at all. Not even close. I do have a strategy now that is somewhat consistent. I'm not confident in it at all, but I killed the in practice today. I killed the Scav King like twice in a row, so you know, better than nothing. Have that kind of practice. Did that lizard just bounce? For some reason, a lizard always has to fall down the screen. Maybe they're running away from the vulture. That makes sense. Never held any ran world record. I think I currently have 3 world records. The Rivulets Rivulet Story percent category, the Rivulets Ascension percent, Saint any percent, and then Gourmand Story percent. So four records. Any of those may have been broken, but I have not seen. Excuse me. That's very rude. I There's another world record that I'm trying to get, but I have not finished a run yet. And there's also one that I have not shown on stream yet. For the most part, I'm only good at the downpour slug cats. There are some runners who have like survivor and hunter runs that are way better than any of my runs. So maybe I'm just kind of carried by downpour. Hey, Blizzard, you can go eat that scavenger. I actually don't mind this time. Nope, that's not how you do it. I should have picked up another spear. That's unfortunate. You can find the leaderboards on speedrun.com. Just look to search up a Rain World Downpour, or just Rain World for the base game leaderboards for like Survivor and Hunter. The jellyfish video. Yeah, that one kind of blew up. Count your children before you cross the scavenger toll. Thank you for your very insightful comments about the nature of Artificer. It really contributes to the stream. Never done it like that before. But anyway, if you were enjoying watching the stream, I'm going to proceed to die to this area 20 times before I actually get a good run going again. That's kind of how it is. Just waiting for a vulture. That's not a vulture. That really isn't. It's actually the opposite. You can't release yourself from a centipede. Why'd I restart after getting the drone? So if you just continue on like normal after the drone cutscene, you will get to the scavenger toll and it will be filled with scavengers. But if we reset, it kind of starts at the beginning of the cycle, and it takes a while for the scavengers to spawn in and actually move over to the toll. So it makes it significantly easier to get past the toll. It also spawns us in this room, so that might be a little bit faster than walking back, although that's not the main reason. So like the 30 seconds that it takes to get the drone is enough time for the scavengers to start spawning in. But now this is considered the start of the cycle, and you'll notice that once I leave this room, you're gonna see some scavengers coming in on the right side, or not, but usually they do. I don't like you. That's not a. Yeah, that's not how you do it. If you're good at the game, you can stun the vulture and grab his mask at the same time. You can then maul him, and it will make them drop the mask. And that's probably the fastest way to do it, other than just like throwing a single spear to get the mask. But I'm not good at either of those. So I just use an explosive spear. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to end the stream soon. Even if I don't finish the speedrun. I'll see how long I can continue, but this might, if I get past garbage waste, this might be my last attempt. Why is the green lizard all the way over there? No. Vulture now. What is this? You know? Someone actually explain why that happens? Does there need to be 4 vultures at the same time? There's either no vultures, so you're waiting there for too long, or a king vulture shows up and harpoons you, or like a whole army of them. Yeah, average day in garbage waste. Like, there's barely any, like, prey animals, you know? Like, what are all these creatures eating? Like, the least dangerous creature in this whole region is, like, a scion lizard. Maybe a dropwig. So it actually has enough karma. Actually, like 1 in a million. That's the ideal scenario. But that isn't. Goodness. The red lizard. Yeah, that's what an actual good start to the run looks like. And you don't even need an explosive spear to do that. Everyone just eats each other in this region. All the red lizards, red centipedes, vultures. Excuse me. This room isn't very fun though. Yeah, that's why. They now know that I'm not actually a vulture. It is possible to grab the scavengers out of the acid, but I messed it up. Someone accidentally replaced the scavenger file with the vulture file. Honestly, that would actually make some areas easier, as long as there's not too many king vultures. Glass of water. I mean, you can jump into a pool of water and be fine. It is just staying underwater completely is what eventually kills Artificer. You know, I thought it would have been funny if I immediately got a good run and ended the stream like 30 minutes in. Of course, that didn't happen. do that. I did get the mask. Got the mask. Yep. Yeah, I suppose the squid gator, right? But still, usually the prey animals greatly outnumber the predators, not like 1-to-1. There's probably like more vultures alone than squid gator. Not really. There's not too many vultures. It's just that I think that a single vulture can move between multiple different rooms. And all of them like to show up in a single room sometimes. Oh, they might have enough karma. About to restart completely. I said that I'll end the stream on the next good attempt, but now it's a question of if I'm even gonna get another good attempt. And I mean, what I mean by that is just getting past garbage waste, essentially. I did have a good few runs. One of them was like particularly really good, where I got a vulture mask very quickly and then just basically played very well for the rest of the run. Then I died to scavenger at the top of the wall. Whoops. Okay, that's lucky that the second scavenger also had good karma. Hit it eventually. I would rather not do another stream of Artificer speedrunning. Although I guess I got used to it, you know. Kind of hated the idea of speedrunning this character for a long time, but you know, now that I've learned it better, it's not the worst thing ever. It's probably not my favorite speedrun, but it's I'd like to grab the mask, please. Just let go. Once in your life, just let go of a creature at Artificer. But now I have to deal with scavengers, maybe. So even though I kind of like messed around a bit there, still faster than most attempts, so at least we can get past that room. Excuse me. Now that I'm actually have a run going, I'm keep messing up the movement. There you go. That's how you actually get past this room. I don't know why I've been struggling with it so much. I don't even have anything to say about that. I made it to Scab King this stream? I don't think so. I haven't even made it to the toll, you know, the next hardest part of the run. I've died in Metropolis a few times. So the unfortunate bit is that even if I do make it like further than I have made it anywhere, further than I made it in this stream before, I'm still probably going to die at the end of Metropolis. I'd like to grab your head. Oh, why do I grab onto the vulture in that situation? Speedrunning Rain World does not sound good for your mental health. It really depends on the category though, and how much time you spend on the speedrun. I usually don't spend this much time just doing runs. That was kind of the goal with this stream, just to spend a bunch of time doing attempts until I get lucky, you know? But most of the time if I'm actually like doing regular speedrun attempts, I do a few attempts at a time, take a break, a few attempts, you know? It also depends on the category. Some of them are a lot more difficult than others. Why are you still chasing me, dude? Artificer just happens to be a particularly difficult character to speedrun because of all the difficult creatures and scavengers. What do I think the hardest category? I mean, it depends on what categories you're looking at. Because there's like some like difficult characters, but like 100% speedrun is probably the worst. I don't know what the inverted Slugcats 100% looks like, but probably one of those. But if you're asking about like a specific like characters like story percent, then you know Artificer is definitely up there. I've gotten extremely lucky. Probably Saint, just because their run is the longest and you have to get the Rubicon. And the movement has such a high skill ceiling that there's always ways to improve it, which just kind of makes the run more difficult. But I can't really say it's a difficult run if it has a high skill ceiling, because it depends on what your goal is for the run. It finally happened. If you're going for a world record, then some runs are going to be harder, just because of the skill ceiling, right? There's like more difficult tricks to go for and more advanced tech, you know? Some runs are just hard to complete in general, regardless of your skill level. Where getting better actually makes it easier to finish the run. And like 100% runs aren't technically that difficult, because you know they're so long that you can make plenty of mistakes without really losing that much time. You know, you're kind of expected to make, I mean, the longer the run, the more likely you are to make mistakes, and you know, dying and losing like 10 minutes like compared to like a 10-hour run. That's not, I mean, I don't know if they're 10 hours long. But... Okay, that's unfortunate. Man, I didn't really make it that far. Oh, Spear. Okay, I forgot about Spearmaster. They're the hardest run. End of discussion. Also, I have the world record in the Saint 80% run, and I'm planning on doing the story percent run later. After I run Spearmaster. If you don't know, I kind of have this goal of doing one good speedrun in for every character in Downpour, all the Downpour characters. I'm not really interested in speedrunning Hunter, for example. It just so happens that some of my good runs also happen to be world records. They don't have to be. That's not really the goal. But that means I'm eventually going to have to do Spearmaster, which I'm not excited for. Well, I wasn't really excited for Artificer, but you know, this isn't too bad. Okay, it's pretty bad, but it's not the worst. I still will end the stream soon. I just want to at least, you know, make it to Metropolis or the Wall or something like that. You know, Spearmaster? Spearmaster's a cool character until you get the Pearl. The moment you're holding onto a Pearl, the run or the whole campaign gets like 20 times worse. Pre-Pearl Spearmaster is like a fine character. Okay, really? At the beginning, I mean, maybe I'm just kind of losing focus because of how long I've been doing this, but at the beginning of the stream, the moment I made it past Garbage Waste, I was pretty much guaranteed to make it to the wall. I guess except for when it rained a few times. Yeah. But from what I've heard, Spearmaster's story percent run without the remix setting that lets you passage with key items like the Pearl, they are probably the hardest category, even though I haven't even touched the characters. So maybe, you know, maybe once I try it out, it's not that bad, but based on from what I've heard from other people, and I have tried the run once with passaging with key items, and it was pretty rough. There's just so many difficult creatures you have to get past without many items to deal with them. Oh, really? Not the best outcome. Is remix allowed? Yeah, remix is allowed, but there's a handful of settings that you aren't allowed to have on, or that you're required to have on. The timer at the top of the screen, for example, that's the speedrun timer that you can enable in the remix settings, and that's required for speedruns if you want to submit them. You really have to hide your head away like that. And then while I'm distracted, the King Vulture shows up, and I get stunned from my own explosions. Man, I can't even get a run started at this point. This doesn't look fun. You know, this if I was just like doing the speedrun, if that was all I was doing, it probably wouldn't be fun after a while. But live streaming it makes it a lot better. Getting to talk with all you guys about anything Rain World related, I think it makes up for it. Please focus on the green lizard and not the small little slug cat. Thank you, although I would like your mask still. Tried to dodge that. Hello? Scavenger? Make you think that you have something good started. But more vultures show up. Not correct. I just died. I didn't get grabbed. Now I've been stabbed. I don't know why someone's failed to grab that pole. That's a whole squad of scavengers. Try and grab that mask from you scavengers. I would appreciate it. Yeah, totally got. I thought I grabbed onto their mask. Well, other strategy. Not work. Hello, welcome back. I am in fact still doing these, although it's probably going to end soon. Really? Finally get the perfect start, and then it's still faster than some attempts where it took a while for me to get the mask. Oh, I shouldn't have gone in here. Oh, that was still fine. Better not. Game is funny, isn't it? Oh, this game is really funny. Big mistake, Scavenger. You don't just do that. Everyone's favorite room right here. Actually, least favorite. I was joking. Actually, definitely don't fall into the acid. I think this is a good place to end. Well, I don't know. Maybe just doing more attempts is just never going to work out. So, take a bit of a break. Classic. Oh, you think that you got a run going? No, no, no. Of course not. Well, I'm going to end the stream here. Probably doesn't help to just keep doing more, so I suppose the next stream I will continue with this. I will continue with Artificer. In the same format, probably. So if I do get a run, I'm just ending the stream. I don't want to really do more Artificer than I have to. So if I get a good time, that's the end of the stream, even if it's at the very beginning. It's kind of what I was hoping would happen in this stream, but find a reliable strat for the stream. That was the reliable strat. It's just unreliable, you know. That's a bad way to explain it, but that's the thing that you do there. But it's like very precise, the positioning. So yeah, I'll take a bit of a break. I mean, this is usually where I don't stream for a while, but when I come back, hopefully we'll finish this run. Thanks everyone for watching. You all make it a lot more enjoyable to speedrun this. To have some people to talk to instead of just doing this alone. So thank you all and see ya.